How to crochet clothes that will fit. I want to teach you to understand size and stretch so that you can crochet clothes that fit almost perfectly. In this video, we will talk about creating your own size guide, how to make sure your crochet clothes will fit even after it has stretched, going up, down in size, and understanding stretching. Creating your own size guide. Step 1. Check the size of your well-fitted clothes. So look through the tops and bottoms of your clothes to see what size it has. Step 2. Measure your body. And here you measure the areas that is important for your design. So for tops, you measure the top part of your body, the waist, and if you want bottoms, the hips and over your butt. Step 3. Write down the measurements and the size of your clothes. Fill in your measurements under the size your clothes have. So here I'm just writing bust, waist, and hips, and then adding bra cup depth as well. You decide what measurements the sizes stand for. Size guides often show that there is 4 centimeters difference in circumference from size to size. Adding a range of around 4 centimeters within each size is also a good idea. This is what I'm doing right here, writing a range from my measurements and then 4 centimeters up. Fill out the empty columns by adding or subtracting 4 centimeters from your measurements and 1 centimeters from bra cup depth. A rule of thumb: 1. There's 4 centimeters between each size in circumference. 2. There's 1 to 2 centimeters difference in the sleeve, length, and armhole. 1 centimeter difference in bra cup depth. How to make sure your crochet clothes will fit even after it has stretched. Crochet tension. So the way you crochet has a big impact on how your clothes will fit. If you crochet very tightly, the clothes will give and stretch a lot less. If you crochet loosely, as I do, it has the potential to stretch and give more in size. Wear your crochet clothes. It's important that we wear our clothes so we can see how it fits over time, because it will stretch and it will give when we wear it. Here I'm wearing some wool shorts and wool socks, and these have been given a lot less than my cotton garments. So you can try and notice what kind of material you're using and then write it down on a piece of paper. Write down how much the garment measures when you've finished making it, and then write down how much it measures after you've been wearing it for maybe a few days or a week, and then see how the different materials have affected the sizing over time. Wash and dry correctly. It's very important that we hand wash our garments like I'm doing here. I'm not wringing it, and then dry it flat on a surface instead of hanging it. The stitches you use. This is also very important to know. So loose and big stitches will give and stretch more in size. It will also shrink up more in size. So this sweater, made in the same stitches and the same yarn, has stretched around 15 centimeters just by wearing it. And this is because my tension is loose and because I'm using a big hook and big stitches. Textured and medium stitches. So a little bit smaller stitches than before and more textured stitches will give a little bit less and will also shrink less back in size when we wash it. This one is stretched 7 centimeters. So because these stitches are smaller and I'm using a smaller hook, and because the stitches are textured, the stretch will be less and it will also shrink less back in size after washing. Compact and small stitches. So this will give even less in size and will also shrink less back in size when washing it. This one is stretched 10 centimeters. So because of the construction of this design, because we are tying it on the back, we are pulling the garment, and the thing about pulling it has a lot of impact on how the size will fit. So here it's been given a lot more than the other top. Going up or down in size. Measure 4 centimeters on a crochet garment that fits you. This is the number of stitches to add or subtract when you go up or down in size. So I'm just going to measure different places on the sweater just to make sure that I'm finding the average number of stitches, because the tension might be different and this is also stretched a little bit, so it's a good idea to measure it after you've been wearing it, because then you know exactly how it's gonna fit on your measurements, and thereby you can make sure it will fit on other sizes. So if you have the correct measurements for the customer, you can also subtract those from your own measurements, and that way see how many centimeters you're going to add or subtract. Measure 1 to 2 centimeters in height. This is the number of rows to add or subtract when you go up or down in size. So here this is about 1 row that measures 1.5 centimeter, so I can add or subtract 1 row to the next size. And the same goes for the sleeves. I'm also measuring here. Understanding stretching. Whenever something stretches, gives in size, we need to subtract from our measurements. So there are 2 kinds of stretches. The minimum stretch, which is the gentle stretch, like when you are putting on the garment, and the maximum stretch, where you stretch all you can, or when the garment is stretched over time. So if all of these factors are in play for your design, you know that it's gonna have the minimum stretch. The minimum stretch is about 5 to 10 centimeters. So this depends on the design and the construction and many other factors, but you can always subtract 5 centimeters from your garment. So if you have all of these factors in play when you are creating a design, you know that you can subtract more from your measurements, because it will then have a maximum stretch. The maximum stretch is about 15 to 25 centimeters. And again, this really depends from design to design and what kind of construction you have and the stitches you use. So if you have all these boxes ticked off, you know that you can subtract the maximum from your measurements. And of course, it's very individual from person to person and how we crochet and what kind of design it is and the material of the yarn. So you really have to just try different things out and see what works for you. The way we crochet, our preference in stitches, the construction of our design, our favorite kind of material, means that our clothes will be so unique because we made it with our hands and our mind, and therefore how much we subtract from our measurements will be different from person to person. We need to make room for trial and error to find out what works specifically for us.